So often we're hearing about outdoor air pollution. But what if I told you that the air inside your home could be hiding radioactive gas? You might have guessed that I'm talking about radon, which is the #1 cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Radon is invisible, odorless, and it seeps into your house without a trace. And it's not just an old house problem. Every home is vulnerable. Recent research shows radon exposure is even more dangerous than we thought, especially for kids. And yet, most homeowners still have not tested for this. But here's the good news. The testing is simple, and new technology makes mitigation smarter and more effective than ever. If you're ready to protect your home and your health, then you will love this week's video where I break down everything about radon inside your home, from testing to mitigation, and how to apply all of this in your own home and your own space in an affordable way. Welcome back. I'm Amanda. I'm a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector and radon tester, and a healthy home expert. I'm the owner and creator of Healthy House on the Block, where I empower you to create a home space that actually supports your health and wellness through removing toxins and improving indoor air quality, rather than sticking in a space that is actually burdening down your health over time. This week, I am so excited to be talking about radon. This is something that if you live in an area that has typically higher levels of radon, you might be very familiar with, but we are finding more and more radon throughout the country, throughout the world, where we need to be testing homes even if they're not in the typically high radon areas. So this video is going to break everything down and give you the information that you need from start to finish when it comes to radon testing and mitigation in your home. If you're a science buff, you may already know a little bit about radon from the chart of periodic elements. So radon gas was discovered in 1900 in Germany by Friedrich Dorn. He was originally studying the decay of radium, which is also one of the periodic elements. Radium is naturally found in the earth and is an alkali metal. Now, this was originally discovered in 1898 by the one and only Marie Curie. So let's look at how radon gets produced through decay. There's kind of this extraordinarily long decay chain produced from uranium. So basically the gist of all of this decay is that radon is produced from naturally occurring rocks and soil in the earth and escapes into the air. Now, this isn't a problem out in the open air of the world. The problem comes into play when the radon gas gets trapped in our homes and cannot escape. Radon is a gas and it's heavier than air, so as it is produced, it oftentimes stays in basements and lowest levels of our home where it can become highly concentrated. Now, these highly concentrated levels lead to the high radon levels that we talk about in terms of health concerns. Radon is measured in picocuries. Now, this is named after Marie Curie, and truly any level is somewhat unsafe. However, the EPA states that levels under 4.0 picocuries per liter are considered okay, but not necessarily safe. So radon is measured in picocuries. This is named after Marie Curie, and truly any level is somewhat unsafe. However, the EPA states that levels under 4 picocuries per liter are considered okay, not necessarily safe. If you were to get a radon level reading of somewhere between 2 picocuries per liter and 4 picocuries per liter, many radon professionals would advise having your home retested and getting the average of those two results. And if it's still in between that 2 and 4, they would advise that you do have the radon removed from your home, as it's that borderline high level. So we know that radon enters the home as a gas from the soil, and this means that any place your home has contact with the soil is a prime location for radon gas to enter. Most surfaces are not permeable by gas. However, our homes are built with many joints and cracks where the gas can enter. So radon gas flows through the path of least resistance, and this means that if your foundation has cracks or gaps in it, radon gas will likely flow in through these spots. Now, another spot that radon gas seeps in is through floor drains and foundation drainage systems like sump pump pits. Cracks in your concrete floor can also be a large entry point for radon. And while radon does come mostly from soil, it can also be present in water. Now, the problem here lies in the fact that when radon is present in well water, it has nowhere to escape, meaning it stays in the water until it enters your home. The radon then escapes from the water as you use your shower or you're cooking or washing dishes, and it evaporates, entering the air inside your house. The higher the radon levels in your soil and water, the more entry points your home has, means you may have high levels of radon. Now, another consideration is the fact that our homes are extremely energy efficient, meaning there are very few ways for air and radon to escape from our homes, and we can actually create a negative air pressure, which means we're pulling air up from underneath our home. Extremely energy efficient homes would be in this category. They draw the radon gas in through the lowest level. I shared with you that radon is the number one cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. And if you're a smoker or you have smoked, radon exposure drastically increases your risk of lung cancer. A study done by the World Health Organization shows the well-established link between lung cancer and exposure to radon in your home. And the Environmental Protection Agency also has quite a few statistics about the exposure to high levels in your home and the detrimental effects it can have on your health. A systematic review published in 2024 also concluded that prolonged exposure to radon gas is conclusively linked to various health issues such as lung cancer, which we knew, leukemia, and chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. Children are particularly vulnerable. Are you a little unsure about where you even should be starting with the healthy house? What are the first steps? After 10 plus years of hands-on experience, I know what those first steps are, and I know the steps to take that won't have you spending lots of money in the beginning, but will get you excited for all of the changes and all the potential that your house has. The truth is, creating a healthy house doesn't have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You just have to know the exact steps to take. Anybody can check things off a list, and that's exactly what I'm here to help you do. My free ebook is an amazing resource to help you get started on getting toxins out of your house and creating healthier habits, and also planning for the future for some of those bigger changes. So because radon is carcinogenic, anyone who has lung damage or tissue damage in their lungs that has been weakened is at risk. Radon cannot permeate the skin, and so the tissue in the lungs is the most at-risk spot. Children are also a high-risk group because of the shape and size of their lungs and the fact that they're not fully developed yet. They also breathe at a faster rate than adults, which increases their risk by almost 2 times in comparison to adults. And then another risk factor is how much time someone spends in high concentrated levels. So those who have bedrooms in the lower level where there are high radon levels are at the greatest risk. The reason is that sleeping for 8 to 10 hours in an environment where high radon levels are means that your exposure is extremely high. The only way to tell if your home has high radon levels is to have your home tested. There are maps that you can seek out online to see if your area has a generally high level of radon, which may give you an idea of what level your home is. However, homes vary greatly, even in close proximity to each other when it comes to these radon levels, and this is due to the path of entry and the negative air pressure in the home. So there are different ways you can test for radon. You can contact a local testing professional to do either a short-term or long-term test in your home. A short-term test is most common, and it runs anywhere from 2 days to 90 days. If you're getting your home tested for a real estate transaction, obviously this is the way you're going to go. If you choose to do a long-term test, it will be in your home for more than 90 days, but it can be more accurate. So testing professionals most commonly use a continuous radon monitor, which also is what I use and trust. Now, the reason I love using this type of radon monitor is there is a smaller margin of error when when it comes to deploying the test. So in essence, user error can actually cause false negatives and false positives when we're looking at results. You also don't have to send any of the results to a lab, which can make you wait for the results. You can actually purchase your own test kit as well from the hardware store. Now, when you do these are very accurate when they are done the right way. The charcoal envelopes that you'll get need to be placed in your home in a specific spot. You'll have to have closed home conditions, so you'll have to read up on all of this. But when you're extremely accurate with how you deploy these tests, the results will be extremely accurate as well. Any of these are a great starting place when you're getting ready to get a read on your home's radon levels. So maybe you've gotten some high results. So first, it depends on what your radon levels are. If your radon levels come back under 2, there's generally nothing you need to do. If your radon levels come back between 2 and 4, it's recommended that you perform another test in the same spot to verify the reading. You'll then take the average of these 2 tests and decide what course of action to take. Now, if your home has a reading that's over 4, your home has high radon levels. And at this level, it's recommended that you contact a radon mitigation company. They'll be able to discuss with you the various ways to fix your home's high radon levels and remove the radon from your home. Now, there's lots of different options for systems, and a mitigation professional can help you decide what is going to be best and most cost effective for your own home, depending on what the levels are, what the size is of your home, and what your foundation type is. This is why it's important to contact these professionals or any contractor if you do have high radon levels. It's important for the health of you and your family. So if you do find that your radon levels are high and you can't get someone out to the house immediately, the best course of action is to ventilate your home very, very well. This means getting a lot of fresh air in and getting your air out of the house. This is through mechanical ventilation. If you have an ERV or some sort of air exchanger, make sure your filters are clean and run that continuously, and then open windows and run your whole house fan to make sure that you're reducing your risk. Radon exposure is a serious health risk, but it's very manageable with the proper testing and mitigation, and staying informed about the latest research and technological advancements can actually help you make the best decision for your home's safety. So if you haven't tested your home for radon ever or even recently, now is the time to do it, because your health and the health of your family could depend on it. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you were able to take at least one idea from this week's video and apply it in your own home. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a like, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I'm here every single week with new tips and new ideas on how to create a space that actually supports your health and wellness rather than burdening it down.